The world can't make you happy. It isn't here to make you happy. It's not designed for that. The world can't give you happiness or freedom, abundance, so stop swindling yourself into thinking that it can. It's not designed to give you anything. It's designed to reflect who you are being. And so outer reality, according to the mirror principle, which works in tandem with the unity principle. Mirror principle being, this idea, this premise, this metaphysical principle that I happen to use a lot in my work and has given my clients a lot of amazing results, is basically understanding that the world is nothing more than a projection screen. And it projects the mental and emotional frequencies that you emit. And so it mirrors back your inner state of consciousness. And it shows you the alignment or misalignment between your true desires and your current focus. Now, the world itself can't make you happy. And how to better understand this really is to understand that the world is essentially neutral. All events, all situations, all happenings, all things that have happened, are happening, and ever will happen, they are neutral. It's just a stage, a screen upon which you are projecting the story of your inner world. It doesn't possess any inherent power to deliver happiness or even unhappiness. And so all it can really do is echo back to you the vibrational imprints of your beliefs, your thoughts, your emotions, your attitudes, your assumptions, your misperceptions about yourself. It can reflect back to you whether you really love yourself or whether you really don't love yourself. Think of it like standing before a mirror, okay? That's why it's called the mirror principle, that the reflection does not decide how you look. It's simply showing you what's already there. It's that if you frown at the mirror or you wave at the mirror, the mirror doesn't smile back if you're not smiling. The mirror image doesn't wave at you if you are not waving, okay? It just reflects. That's all that it's here to do. It's inherently neutral in that sense. It's just this blank screen, if you want to think of it that way. And so the outer world reflects the sum total of your inner state, amplified through the lens of your perception. So, just like you can have an altercation or an argument with someone where something just happens, right? You can have two different people who saw the exact same thing, had the exact same happening happen to them, can have vastly different experiences. You see it happen with siblings all the time, how they perceive their parents or their story of things that happened when they were kids. Or when people have an argument, there's, two sides to that argument. There's what happened, and then there's someone who sees things very distinctly in a certain way, and the other person can see things very distinctly and often a very, very different way. That's the argument, right? So happiness, if we're talking about a state of being, and that's all happiness is. It's a state of being. That's all abundance is. It's a state of being. That's what freedom is. It's a state of being, right? It cannot be a gift from the world. It must be an intentional state that you cultivate from within. The world's role is really just to validate your inner state by reflecting it back to you in the form of your experiences. And so the outer experience is the projection. Your external life is the crystallization of your inner landscape. And it's not poetic, it's not metaphorical, it's a direct consequence of how consciousness interacts with reality. And according to metaphysical laws, every thought and every emotional state carries a vibrational signature. It has a frequency, right? When repeated or held with enough intensity, enough focus, enough attention, then these vibrations interact with the quantum field, shaping the events, circumstances, and relationships in your life, and reflecting in one of two ways. what you prefer to experience and what you don't prefer to experience. And so if your inner state is one of lack, and let's just say for the sake of argument, something you don't want to experience, or if it's fear or disconnection, then the world is only mirroring by presenting challenges, scarcity, conflict, constant altercations or miscommunications with other people. And on the other hand, when you are embodying joy, gratitude, and abundance, the mirror reflects those states as fulfilling experiences, as opportunities, as synchronicity, as what you would call miracles, the miraculous. The process is impartial. It's neutral. The mirror, the world, doesn't care whether you project love or fear. It simply reflects, okay? The world is neutral. It's the meaning you give to what happened, is happening, or what may likely happen in the future that is creating more favorable or unfavorable conditions. It's all based on your perceptual bias. This might be a truth that rattles you a little bit, and maybe you don't want to hear it. Doesn't change the fact that this is true. Doesn't change the fact that when you start applying some of the things I'm going to tell you next, your world will change. It has to. So if you like this content and you want to keep going here, please keep listening, because I'm going to give you ways to apply this understanding. And if you like content like this and you want to see more of it, I'm Catherine Massell. I created this space on YouTube. I've had it for many, many years. And I have created this space for visionary creators, conscious creators, to reconnect with their genius, their purpose, their light, their passion, and their abundance, their prosperity. And so if that's you, please like this. It helps the algorithm. It helps other people like you see this content. And it really helps my channel if you subscribe too. So on we go. Thank you. Happiness is a choice, not a circumstance. So happiness is not a result. This is exactly the misperception that people have that keeps people chasing and attaching to outcomes as things that are going to make them happy, right? Again, the world cannot make you happy. A circumstance, a condition cannot make you happy. It must exist apart from that condition, okay? It has to exist in and of itself, not tied or attached to or conditional or circumstantial to an outcome. Because that's like saying, here's your mirror reflection. You're expecting it to wave at you first, smile at you first without you doing the same. Happiness, abundance, freedom, these are not the results of favorable external conditions. It's a deliberate decision to align with the state of being that happiness, that abundance, that freedom represents to you, that relief represents to you. And so when you choose happiness, you shift your internal vibration to resonate with joy, with peace, with contentment, with freedom, with abundance. This eternal alignment naturally shifts the external mirror. It has to. It's law. It's universal law, as a matter of fact. As the world recognizes your vibration, your frequency, because you're attentive to that, you are focused on that, you're constantly shifting back to that when you notice that you get distorted in that frequency or you get distracted. You're constantly shifting back to that without getting, that feeling of, oh, I lost it, oh my God, and you start beating yourself up in your mind. No. You remain neutral as this canvas of the world reflecting back experiences to you. Remain neutral and just keep focused and attentive to what experience you prefer. And I'm going to go through some ways to help you stay focused on that. But just remember, the mirror doesn't show you happiness and then invite you to feel it. The world doesn't show you abundance and then invite you to feel this wealth and prosperity. The world doesn't show you freedom and then invite you to feel it. It waits for you to feel it first, to give the signal. You are the signal because you are the creator. Okay, so you are the one that has to cast that vibration, that frequency out first. You can't expect a mirror to send you something first. It's not possible. And yet this is exactly what keeps people attached to external outcomes that they hope to make them happy or free or feel loved or feel abundant. It can't do that for you. It's not designed to do that for you. So here's what you do instead. Here's how to tangibly and practically apply this understanding so you can make this work in your life now. Okay, so breathe. Get present. Go into present moment awareness. And I want you to really listen here. And don't listen from the mind that is going through this Rolodex of different ways that you feel desperate right now, or you're clutching at things, you're grasping or chasing things. Go into present moment awareness. Put a smile on your face and just breathe. Breathe in deeply through the nose and out through the mouth. And number one, I'm going to go through 4 steps here. Recognize the reflection. Recognize that the world is a mirror. Begin to view your outer experiences as feedback. That's all it is, really. All that the mirror can do for you is provide value in terms of feedback. In other words, it's showing you the echoes of previous states of feeling and thinking. Because what's manifested in physical reality will always and ever be that. It'll be an echo. It'll be a byproduct of thoughts you've thought before, feelings you felt before. And it'll reflect whatever the projection is of that by the order of experiences or happenings or situations that you're having. The inner state might be creating this reflection for you that you say, like, if reality feels off, or it just feels like I notice more and more of what's reflecting my outer reality, experiences that I don't prefer, people coming into my life that I really don't want to associate with anymore, conversations that I seem to keep having on a loop where I just feel like I'm describing my experiences from a place of lack and scarcity and want. Where is there an opportunity then to focus on more of what you prefer? Don't stop there. Don't stop with the feeling of, I'm noticing what I don't like. I'm noticing lack. I'm noticing lack. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. You're not going to create what you truly want from a place of desperation, from a place of chasing and just noticing what you don't want. You have to go a step further. You have to go into this place of being very deliberate, going into the breath, going into the present moment awareness, and say to yourself, I recognize this reflection. I recognize that this feedback I'm getting is very valuable. It's showing me where I'm off track. It's showing me where reality feels off. So I'm going to ask myself, what inner state might be creating this reflection? Where do I feel like I don't love myself? And a lot of your problems, I'm sorry, and there's really no problem of you. There's nothing you need to fix. But if there is something you can do more of, it's always going to be loving yourself more. I mean, love is the great remedy for everything. Even when we're in our most trying circumstances, even if we're in a situation we don't like to be experiencing very much, you can still be in a place where you say, you know what, but I'm going to love myself anyway. And if you can really go into your heart space, and better yet, focus on the space between the solar plexus and the heart, and notice what feels empty or feels like a void space there. Fill it up with love, and just beam love. Just beam love. And do it for just a couple minutes. You'll notice that it allows you to clear the fog, the mental fog, clear the desperation, feel, where you feel that clinging, you feel that grasping, you feel that desperation. This will clear that up because those things can't exist when you are just beaming love. Okay? This allows you to move into number 2, which is to shift internally. Anytime you decide to just beam love, and I mean, it's like, you remember the Care Bears? I remember the Care Bears where it's just like the beam, the radiant golden beam just shining out from their chest. Be a Care Bear. I know it sounds trite. I know it sounds silly, but trust me, you'll notice the shift internally. You'll notice it almost instantaneously when you decide to beam love. And you can decide to do this no matter what is happening in your outer state. Remember, this is not conditional to what's happening outside of you. What's happening outside of you is just a reflection. These are echoes, phantoms of what was. feelings you had before, thoughts you had before, beliefs you had before. That gets to change in a moment if you decide it does. So shift internally. So once you identify the misalignment, you notice, hey, I'm experiencing something I don't prefer. Shift your focus to what you do prefer, right? So that's why I said in number 1, go a step further. Don't just recognize what's off. Recognize, what do you want instead? Okay, these are your choices. You're a creator being. You have the ability to do this, and it will begin that internal shift instantaneously. But this is where a lot of people kind of get murky. There's a lot of murky waters here. This doesn't mean spiritually bypassing. It doesn't mean having, this contracted emotional bandwidth where you're just kind of suppressing or repressing or pushing away at uncomfortable emotions. No, it means detaching. And when I say detaching, what I'm talking about is not suppressing unwanted feelings, but rather allowing them to move through you without getting attached to the story of them. That's what I mean when I say detachment. This is an art. It's called the art of surrender. It's letting go. And when you're able to do that, it's not about pushing away at uncomfortable things or feelings. It is about being with them completely and fully in present moment awareness with the breath that allow you to go deep into presence, deep into being grounded in your body so you feel safe to finally feel these feelings and just sit with them. Let some space kind of happen around these feelings. And you'll realize when you're present, because when you're present, you are in your home frequency, meaning you are the infinite creator being, and you are that. You are fully immersed in that frequency. When you are in present moment awareness, and you're just practicing deep breathing, in through the nose, out through the mouth. That means you're 100% aligned with the infinite nature of who you are. This is the truth of who you are. And only when you are in that home frequency of the truth of who you are can you really see the truth of what's happening. That this feeling doesn't have any power to wreck you. It doesn't have any power over you at all, in fact. It just felt big because you resisted it for so long, and what you resist persists. But now you're in this space of, I'm going to feel this completely. I'm going to say, how is this for me? This feeling has been here. It's been around for a while because it's attempting to show me something. It's a part of me. I call it the holy dark. Some people call it shadow. I call it shadow sometimes too. But it's really the gift and the garbage. It's the holy dark, meaning holy, it's a part of you. There's no part of you that isn't holy. Your human is holy. Your infinite nature is holy. Everything that is you, or you recognize as this beautiful snowflake energetic signature that is you, it is holy. It is sacred. It is divine. Don't try to, swat away at or get rid of any part of it, even the darkness, because the darkness is the key. It's in this shadow, this holy dark, this gift in the garbage that is like a breadcrumb. It is like a signpost saying, the second you sit with this and let it be, you let it move through you in a way that maybe you never have up until this moment. It's never too late. It's never too late to sit with this, yes, sometimes painful feeling. It's not an invitation for you to go back into the traumatic experience. It's just an invitation for you to be with the feeling in full presence. And you'll be really surprised what happens when you do that. Because this is redirecting your energy toward joy. Because you're in that present moment awareness, you are in the highest frequency of you, you are in your infinite creator being vibration. Nothing can harm you. Nothing can fuck you up when you're in that space. But you have to let yourself be fully immersed, fully embodied, and fully embrace that frequency. Because then and only then can you fully embrace that feeling that the holy dark has been trying to get you to feel for, let's be honest, probably a really long fucking time. This is the art of surrender. This is letting go. And I teach you how to do this. I teach you how to do this in Coherence program, which is coming up really soon on January 15th. I teach you how to do this in Visionary School. And I teach you how to do this when we work together one-to-one. All that information is down below. So number 3, deliberate intention. Make happiness your baseline. Remember when I said beam love like a Care Bear? You can choose any moment in your day to just sit yourself down and beam love. I never really understood how simple this could be, to just sit with all the love I have for myself, because if I'm quite honest, I couldn't really harness that very well earlier on. I couldn't really sit with all the love I have for myself and all the love that I am myself, because a lot of my identity was rooted in some level of disappointment, despair, feeling grief, feeling sadness, fear, anger, regret, resentment. I mean, you name it. And holding myself to a really high standard. And if you have that kind of hypervigilance, like perfectionism, or holding yourself to a really high bar, a really high standard of perfection so that you can never ever meet it. And if you never ever meet it, it's just more of an opportunity to be disappointed in yourself. Hello, calling myself out on that one. Maybe you noticed that too. Then you won't ever find a situation or a condition then that allows you to love yourself, because you have hinged your happiness, your freedom on some conditional experience, signaling to you that, oh, it's okay to love yourself now. You have enough money. Oh, it's okay to love yourself now. You have enough of love from this soulmate partner, so it's okay to love yourself now. Oh, you have enough good connections or good clients. It's okay to love yourself now. And if you keep waiting on those conditional circumstances and staying attached to chasing those things as the means through which you will finally be happy, free, abundant, feel relief, don't ever look for those things in the world to reflect your happiness to you. Again, that's hoping the mirror will wave its hand at you first before you lift your own wave. It's not going to happen. So the deliberate intention to make happiness, to make joy, to make abundance your baseline, to make love, just keep it easy, make love your baseline. Make it so that you sit yourself down and breathe with intention and present moment awareness. And you just imagine beaming love from your heart. You don't have to do it more than a minute, but really be in it, really immerse yourself in that. And set the intention each day to prioritize having this inner state be the thing that is by far more important than any other external outcomes that you hope to see or are attaching yourself to seeing. Instead of waiting for the world to make you happy, make you free, make you abundant, make you loving, become that state. Become the source of your own happiness, of your own freedom. And number 4, trust that mirror. Use the world as your mirror. Use it as something that can always reflect the value back to you of, this is what I am radiating, resonating from my inner state. So what shows up in the world is nothing more than valuable to me, because it's showing me what I'm doing. It's showing me where I'm on track with what I prefer to experience, or where I'm off track with what I prefer to experience. And neutralize it, make that it. Because it doesn't have anything else, any other meaning other than the meanings or judgments that you assign to it after that. The world is just a mirror. It has value, but it doesn't mean anything. Inherently, it doesn't. It's neutral. It's the meaning you're assigning to the experience, the situation, the event, that is labeling it, judging it, and it's also creating the limits of your experience, because it's defining your vibration, it's defining your frequency. And so chances are you're going to stay in that bubble of frequency or vibration unless you change it. So when I say trust the mirror, that means use it to reflect back to you. Use it as the valuable feedback mechanism that it is, to reflect back to you. This is where I'm on track. This is where I'm off with what I want, with what I prefer, with what favorable conditions and outcomes I can only expect to see if I'm vibrating and having the frequency bandwidth of it first as my inner state. And when I say trust the mirror, I also mean, the outer world, we're playing with time and space in this 3D reality. Our human is playing a game of time and space. So there's a lag time. The outer world takes a little time to catch up with your new inner states. So for a while, you're going to continue to see reflections of the old you, the old identity. Again, don't attach any meaning to it. Recognize these are just echoes. But the reflection will always align once you consistently hold the frequency. So that's why consistency and, perseverance, being able to maintain some kind of neutrality and curiosity being, look what the reflection is showing me. And as it continues to echo things from the person you have been, the old version of you that is now changing into a newer vibration of you that's consistently holding a new and more aligned, more preferred frequency, just notice these echoes and say, that's interesting. How might this be showing me something that I could also clear? Something that I can, do some inner work on. Let it just be that. Let it be neutral. Stay curious. Stay playful with this and trust it, because you hold this frequency long enough, consistently enough, the world has no choice but to reflect this new vibration of you. The world's only purpose is to show you yourself. That's it. That's it. And happiness is not something that you find. Abundance isn't something you stumble upon or get lucky with lucky girl syndrome. It is something you are. When you choose happiness, when you choose joy, when you choose abundance, when you choose love as a state of being, you transform the mirror of your reality into a beautiful reflection of your inner joy, your inner state. And if you master this principle, you master the art of not creating a destiny for yourself, but discovering what already exists. Because another unity principle is that you are everything and everyone, just under different circumstances. So everything is already created. Everything is already finished. Creation is finished. So using this, mastering these things, mastering this principle of the mirror principle, and applying these very tangible practices that I've offered up for you here, understand that the art of creating is really about, you're not creating anything. Creation is finished. You're discovering, through holding a new, consistent vibration and frequency of self, a timeline of you that already exists. He or she is already having the fullness of the life you prefer. And it can be a life that feels as good as it looks. And it looks as good as it feels, because those things will always go together. So my invitation to you, if you want to take this further and work with this mirror principle, the unity principle, if Coherence program, this is a 3-month program, this is the identity shifter, meaning every new up level of you requires a different version of you. This program, Coherence Group program, teaches you how to do that. If that price point, that investment is not for you, then this is also what we do in Visionary School. When you join Coherence program, you get 3 months of Visionary School, which is our playground and membership community, private membership community on the school platform. And it's $100 a month to do this. And you could even work in just 1 month in Visionary School and have incredible results. So if any of these resonate for you, go ahead and check out the links in the comments. And again, if you love this content, like and subscribe, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye-bye.